He dropped to his knees in the middle of the quiet park, his expensive suit brushing the dust. People stopped. Birds went silent. With trembling hands, the billionaire single father whispered, "Please, marry me." But the homeless woman looked into his eyes and asked for something no one expected. Every morning, Daniel Cross followed the same routine. He woke up before sunrise in his glass mansion overlooking the city. He dressed in tailored suits, drank coffee he barely tasted, and kissed his sleeping son on the forehead before leaving for work. Daniel was known everywhere. A self made billionaire, a powerful businessman, a man who had everything. Except one thing: peace. 5 years earlier, his wife had died suddenly from illness, leaving him alone with a 3-year-old boy named Noah. Daniel had tried to fill the emptiness with work, money, and success, but nothing replaced a mother's warmth or a family's balance. Noah grew up surrounded by nannies, tutors, and luxury. But at night, he still asked the same question: "Daddy, why don't I have a mommy?" Daniel never knew how to answer. One afternoon, after another exhausting meeting, Daniel took a different route home. He asked his driver to stop near a small public park. That's when he saw her. She sat on a worn wooden bench near the fountain, holding a paper cup. Her clothes were old but clean. Her hair was tied back neatly, and her eyes carried a quiet strength. She didn't shout for money. She didn't chase anyone. She just sat there waiting. For weeks, Daniel noticed her from his car window. She was always there, always calm, always dignified. One day, something inside him pushed him to step out of the car. He walked over and asked gently, "Are you hungry?" She smiled softly, "Sometimes, but today I'm all right." Her voice wasn't bitter. It was peaceful. That surprised him. Daniel began stopping by the park more often. Sometimes he brought food, sometimes just conversation. He learned her name was Sarah. She had once been a teacher. Life had taken everything from her: family, home, stability, but not her faith. "God still sees me," she once said quietly, "even if people don't." Those words stayed with Daniel. Noah started coming too. The boy instantly liked Sarah. He would sit beside her and talk about school, drawings, and dreams. One day Noah held her hand and asked, "Do you have a family?" Sarah smiled sadly. "Not anymore." Noah looked at his father and said, "Daddy, she's nice." Daniel felt something shift in his chest. As weeks turned into months, Daniel noticed changes in his son. Noah laughed more. He smiled more. He slept better. But at home, the emptiness felt heavier. Daniel tried dating women from his social circle, elegant, educated, wealthy. But none of them connected with Noah. None of them understood the quiet wounds inside his heart. One evening, after Noah cried himself to sleep missing his mother, Daniel sat alone in his study and whispered, "God, I don't know what to do." The answer didn't come in words. It came in a memory: Sarah's gentle smile, her patience with Noah, her calm faith. And a dangerous thought crossed his mind. Daniel argued with himself for days. "She's homeless. People will talk. This is crazy." But his heart wouldn't let go. He knew one thing for sure: Sarah loved Noah, not his money. One afternoon, he found her in the park again. The air was quiet. Leaves fell around them. He took a deep breath. "Sarah, I need to ask you something." She looked up, concerned. "Is everything okay?" Daniel's voice shook. "I'm not good at this." He paused. Then slowly, unbelievably, he knelt before her. "Please, marry me." People nearby gasped. Cars slowed. Time froze. Sarah's eyes widened, not in excitement, but shock. "Daniel, stand up," she whispered. "Please." But he stayed there. "My son needs a mother," he said softly. "And I need someone who knows kindness." Sarah was silent for a long moment. Then she spoke. "I will only marry you if you promise me something." Daniel exhaled, relieved. "Anything." She looked directly into his eyes and said, "I don't want your money. I don't want your house. I don't want your name." Daniel froze. She continued, voice steady. "I want you to treat every poor person like they matter. I want you to teach your son humility. And I want us to live simply, not above people, but among them." The park felt very quiet. Daniel realized something painful. This woman didn't need him. She didn't want his wealth. She wanted his heart. Tears filled his eyes. "I promise," he said, "on my life." The world didn't react kindly. News spread fast. Business partners laughed. Friends warned him. "She's using you. This will ruin your reputation. You're throwing your life away." Even his own family questioned him. But Noah didn't. He hugged Sarah and said, "Can I call you Mom?" Sarah knelt and hugged him tightly, tears falling. "If you want to." That was enough. After the wedding, small, quiet, simple, everything changed. Sarah moved into Daniel's home but transformed it. Expensive rooms became warm. Silence turned into laughter. Faith entered the walls. Daniel began visiting shelters, funding schools, listening instead of commanding. One day, he saw a homeless man outside his office and stopped. "What do you need?" Daniel asked. The man replied, "Someone to see me." Daniel sat beside him. Years later, Daniel stood in the same park, now older, softer. Sarah sat beside him holding his hand. Noah ran ahead laughing. Daniel whispered, "You saved us." Sarah smiled. "No, kindness did." He looked up at the sky and understood. Sometimes God sends answers disguised as people the world ignores. Sometimes the person who has nothing gives us everything. And sometimes the smallest act of kindness can change someone's world. If this story touched your heart, share it with someone who still believes in goodness.